Taoiseach Leo Varadkar's admission that he took illegal drugs in years past has become a big talking point from the first television debate of election 2020. And let's have a look at why.
To both, an honest answer, have you ever taken illegal drugs in any shape or form?
No, I never have.
Leo Varadkar?
I answered that question in a hot press interview about 12 or 13 years ago, and I answered it truthfully.
Which is?
Which is? The answer that you did?
Yes, but it was obviously a long time ago.
Joined now with Philip Ryan. Philip, it was excruciating to watch that last night, wasn't it? But does it really matter to voters?
Well, it depends on what type of voter you are. A lot of Fine Gael TDs, or candidates anyway, who are in the field, especially in rural communities today, didn't really think it went down well and don't believe it's going to go down well with their Conservative, especially rural voters. On the other side, if you're someone between 18 and 40, are you really going to care? You're going to have known people who've done drugs. You may have done drugs yourself. It probably won't be that big a deal for you.
In the context of the stories around crime and how the gangland murder recently, this idea, though, it's not a good look for the Taoiseach to be put in a position like that, especially the long pause, which I think made him look perhaps more guilty than he says he is of anything.
Well, this is it, and the question was built up in that way by Pat Kenny, who talked about the feuds, talked about recreational drug use among people who are feeding in and funding these gangs, in fact. But today, Leo Varadkar has clarified. He said it was only marijuana he's ever smoked, and there was no other drugs, he says, and that probably was what he should have done last night.
Of course, he's not the first. There have been plenty of politicians in the past who have admitted to taking recreational drugs, and it hasn't done them any harm. Michael D. Higgins included among them.
Exactly. Michael D. Higgins told the Irish Independent some time ago that, strangely, when he was in Indiana University, he had used marijuana, but he went on to say that some of his friends were taking acid, LSD, but he decided not to on that occasion.
And then that might surprise people, Brian Cowan.
Brian Cowan, again, yeah, another one of these hot press interviews that many people have done. He said definitely in the UCD bar in the 70s, you could always get a whiff of marijuana, and he even said, unlike President Bill Clinton, he did inhale when he was past the joint.
Of course, a couple of other ones, Barack Obama, the Bill Clinton one you mentioned. Bill Clinton always claimed that he didn't inhale. And Leo's biggest friend in politics, Justin Trudeau.
Oh, Justin Trudeau, yes. I was going to say Boris Johnson as well, who famously took cocaine but somehow sneezed it out and didn't manage to actually take it. Michael Gove, another cabinet minister over in the UK, he's taken cocaine. And yes, Justin Trudeau, he's smoked marijuana. He's no problem with that. Barack Obama seems to have done everything imaginable. He says, when I was a teenager, I used drugs, I drank, I pretty much tried whatever was out there. But I was in Hawaii and it was a pretty relaxed place there. So I'm not sure the same applies to Castleknock.
Will people be relaxed about this? Is it over now? Does Leo move on from the drugs question?
No, I think
it'll become an election issue?
I think there'll be a couple of days of it, but I don't think anybody will make their mind up on something someone has done possibly over 20 years ago.
OK, well, we'll keep track of everything in election 2020. Stay with us on independent.ie.